It's an uprising. It's an uprising.
Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. Welcome to the Green Live stream. I'm your host, Edie Arndell, and I'm here with my wonderful co-host, Mr. Scott Free.
Hey, everybody.
Scott.
Hey, how's it going?
So, wow. There's so much going on, but I want to start out with the obvious for us. Can you please like, subscribe, and share? We're getting really close to our 500 subscriber level that we're going for. It helps the algorithm. It helps get our message out. People that come say they really like what we're talking about. You know, Scott and I kind of create our own whatever we need it to be.
Yeah.
Whatever's happening. So today's show is about Mayday, FBI raids, and 100 Days of Trump.
And by the way, we have 467 subscribers as of today. So our goal is 500. So please, yes, subscribe, everyone.
So that's what our show is going to be about. But I do want to put out a call to all progressive lefties, good people, whoever, people that don't like what's happening in the duopoly. We got to find ways to work together towards the greater good. We have to put our differences aside. You got to let go of your ego and needing to win at all costs, because winning at all costs is never a good thing. We got to figure out how to work with each other. Compromise is the highest form of like getting things done. Not everybody, if everybody's not happy, you did a good job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you can't get to that and it's all out war, I mean, from small scale to your family or your community, all the way up to international politics, right?
Yeah.
War is a failure of diplomacy. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And yes, urgency that's the key word for everything is urgency, because things are really, really, really bad in this country, and we've got to turn things around.
Yeah, we don't have time to bicker. Just saying.
Yeah.
We got to focus on who the real enemy is.
Right.
Speaking of that, that's our first story.
Oh, right.
Mayday. Are the Trump tariffs killing 20,000 U.S. UPS jobs? U.S. and UPS.
Yeah.
This is from ScheerPost by Les Leopold. You can find him on Substack. I highly recommend. And that's really cool. They got a QR. I don't know if our new producer helper, Mr. Leo, put that on there, or if it was there to begin with. But if so, thank you, Leo. That's great. It's such a tempting storyline. The UPS announces that it will lay off 20,000 workers, citing changes in the global trade policy or new increased tariffs. There you have it, a perfect example of how Trump's tariffs are screwing working people, many of them who voted for him. Or is it? It's corporations gonna be corporate, right? They're in there to make money. They don't care how they make money. And their job is to extract as much wealth as possible and shovel it to its shareholders and top executives in the form of stock buybacks and dividends. And like every major corporation, UPS will pay for that wealth extraction by laying off as many workers as possible. That's what they do. Let's look at the numbers. 2023, the company, it's a little, hang on. Can't quite read it all. There we go. The company authorized $5 billion in stock buybacks. If you don't know what a stock buyback is, it's when a corporation uses its own funds to repurchase shares, and that raises the stock price. So They get to make more money. So they're taking the money that the workers are creating,
right,
and putting it back into the stock so that the prices will go up. So then the shareholders get more money.
Right.
Shouldn't be allowed, but it is. They're going to spend another $1 billion. Oh my gosh. And UPS posted $8.5 billion in profits. This is not company struggling to make ends meet.
Right. No, that's the thing. And, they also referenced the when we had the COVID, shutdowns and all that what happened when it reopened, they looked at their spreadsheets and decided we got to make more money to catch up. And so they just raised prices, everywhere. And so that was, the massive cause of the inflation. And it's the same idea that their priority is always profit to the shareholders. That's the key to what they do. And so, right. I mean, there's no doubt that Trump is hurting us massively with these tariffs. But that also, even before they take effect, that gives them an excuse to do what they're doing. Sure.
Yeah. They're like, ooh, we have political cover now. We can blame it on this, blame it on the rain, whatever.
Right.
So to maintain this wealth pump for its investors and top officers, I'm sorry, the little icon isn't in the way, but compensated with stock incentives, cash needs to be generated and replenished. The simplest way to do that without acquiring more debt is to lay off workers. And who's to blame? Let's see. Clinton and Reagan.
Right.
Reagan was a Republican. Yeah. Clinton was a Democrat.
Right. They work in tandem.
One hand washes the other. Yeah, before this, no corporate manager would dare to lay off their workers during profitable periods. To do so was a sign of poor management, a blemish on the CEO and his or her team. Workers and communities were considered corporate stakeholders right along with the shareholders. Yeah. I mean, so now they just don't care. They don't care how they look. They don't care what people think. But after deregulation by Reagan and Clinton, red, blue, didn't matter. The only stakeholder that mattered was the shareholder. The hell with the workers, I'd say tell, in their communities. In short, order layoffs during good times became a symbol of smart management. Greed is good, just like Gordon Gekko. Reign supreme. Please see Wall Street's war on workers for the gory details. And the Teamsters Union, I guess, is going to fight back, hopefully.
Yeah. We'll have to see
Sean
what happens.
O'Brien.
Yeah.
No. We can move on. But yeah. So that's part of what's going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, wow. Anyway, let's see. I think I got this. Okay, there we go.
And I thought we had another story on the 100 days. Let's see.
Oh. Well, we're what are we doing next? Let's see. Our producers aren't available right now. One's camping and one's at a graduation, so we're kind of flying kind of solo, even though there's two of us. But we're doing our best. Yeah. No, the next thing was the FBI raids.
Okay.
I'll find it. And you can talk about it.
Yeah. So I mean, it's getting into this is part of Trump's 100 days, and what he's doing is absolutely weaponizing free speech, thought. I mean, he is really, really taking actions that are, at the foundations of this country in terms of First Amendment rights. And so the FBI raided the homes of two people in Michigan. I think they were students at the University of Michigan, if I had that right, or Michigan State. I'm not sure. But just because they were protesting for Palestine rights. And it's just, I mean, it's incredible that it's gotten to this level, that simply protesting gets you raided by the FBI. And they have proven it had nothing to do with illegal immigration. It was specifically for their protesting. And I don't know, do we have a...
I don't see it, Scott. Guess we missed that one. It's okay. Like I said, we need our producers.
Yeah.
Ariel and Leo, if you're listening, we need you.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's and again, this just ties in with all the other things that have been happening to the protesters. And now there's the new bill that's being brought up that will make it illegal for any company to do BDS, which is boycott, divest, and sanction. So it's extremely serious. This is, I mean, a new version of the McCarthy era. I mean, this is complete shutting down of thought and protest. You're right to protest. It's an extremely bad situation that's happening and just getting, worse. Again, 100 days. It's amazing how many horrific things have been happening in the 100 days.
Yeah. So we have a couple comments. Kalia's here. What's up, Kalia?
Oh,
I've got.
hey.
She's
Well,
got
you're
some
gonna
good
have to
news
read.
for us.
You're gonna
Well,
have to keep typing. Let us know.
yeah, please. She says y'all are doing great.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
And guess who's here?
Oh, Richard Giovanoni. Okay. Hey,
I'm still working
thank
on your
you.
last name, Richard.
I'm not sure if I pronounced
Giovanoni.
it right.
I hope I'm getting it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So thank you,
Thanks for-
Richard. We try very hard. We work on this a lot. We are very dedicated to the, our chapters and the Illinois Green Party and the Green Party in general and saving the world from fascism.
Yeah.
No big deal, right?
Small task here at Green Live Stream.
Piece of cake, right? So, yeah, that's crazy. I actually was going to fly later this year, and I decided not to because I don't want to go to an airport now.
No.
My recent experience being in the airport, I was at Midway in Chicago, flying to Seattle. They made us walk 2 by 2 where dogs were like going in front of us and behind us. I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, you already looked at all my stuff, like all the stuff, like you put all your stuff in the thing and you scanned us. Oh, but still, I want a dog to like do that, and then you go up to give them your ID so you can actually get to the side where the gates are, and they take your ID, they look at you, they look down, then they take your picture without asking you.
Yeah.
And I have a big mouth, and I probably in this day and age that might be a detriment. I'm like, I just looked him dead in the eye. And I'm like, I'm not a fan of that. You didn't ask me. Like
Yeah.
it just comes out. That filter must be faulty. I remember one time I was walking by. It's when I still lived in San Diego. G Vanoni. Okay, thanks, Richard. Joe Vanoni. Okay. I tried to put the Geo in there. I don't know. But I was working, I was delivering to a Rite Aid, and there's somebody out in front of the store that had fallen asleep in one of their, outdoor stuff. They were sitting in a lawn chair or whatever. Instead of trying to wake the guy, the cop is doing the Face ID. And I just go, really? He's like, well, I'm trying to find out who it is. I'm like, did you try asking him? Yeah. So.
Oh, and I actually did find the article that we were referencing. It's by David Zimmerman. It was shown. It was in National Review. The FBI, along with state and local enforcement, on Wednesday raided the homes of anti-Israel activists connected to protests at the University of Michigan. Authorities began executing search warrants Wednesday morning in Ypsilanti, Ann Arbor, and Canton in southeastern Michigan, the Detroit Metro News and Detroit Press reported. Several people were detained before they were eventually released. A Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel's office is handling the ongoing investigation, but it declined to provide details about the raids. A spokesperson clarified that the police authority were unrelated to illegal immigration. All individuals targeted appear to be American citizens. So this is, they again, as people kept warning, this is going to go past just, the targeting of people with green cards or visas or undocumented immigrants. And and they're there already. Now, those are U.S. citizens that they are targeting.
Yeah. So don't believe the press. Don't believe the BS. They use these things in order to gain more power, to shut down dissent, to trash the Constitution, and to just gain power. They want total control. That's what they want. Yeah. Kalia put her good news in here.
Okay.
So here, I'll put it up. The GPUS ANMC wants both of you to join a journalist panel.
Oh, okay.
I'll be there with you and some other journalists talking to candidates that are running for 2526.
Oh, great.
Well, of course we'll be there. I'll be there no matter where I'm at.
Yeah, actually, the GCCC, they did have their first announcement of candidates. It was at the same time as our Wednesday Green live stream. So I haven't checked it out yet. But no, that's exciting. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's great.
You've got my email. Send me the deets and we'll be there.
Yeah.
And we're also going to be helping out. Jill Stein's doing something on May 10th.
Oh, you're going to go?
We may not be. we may not be on the camera, but we're going to be there and we're trying to help out wherever we can. Because
Right, because she is has to appear in court, right, for an assault charge on a police officer. As the police officer pushed the bike on her down to the ground, they're charging her with assault.
because she was falling and she accidentally grabbed the bike.
An assault of a
You know?
police officer, I don't know what the, but this is a serious, serious situation for Joe. And again, we're just, some people were protesting at the University of Michigan and the FBI raids them. So the environment is really bad right now. I think, we can't look to the past for the outcomes. It's worse than it's ever been in this country. Thank you,
Yeah, it is.
Kalia.
Thank you, Kalia. And thank you, Richard, for being here.
and we have to plug the green tea on Sundays. Kalia does on TikTok. Yes.
Green Party Tea Sunday, I believe 5 p.m. Central.
Central. Yeah.
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 So 6 p.m. Eastern. She's on the East Coast. Yeah. It's kind of fun. We went a few weeks back, and I'm a commenter. I'm like, I can't help it. This part and this part.
There you go.
So yeah, that's great. I know Americans aren't safe now. I mean, that's what they used. Yeah, they are trying to silence her any way they can. That's what, in my opinion, that's what 9/11, why that was allowed to happen. Like we didn't know. Bullshit.
I know. Right.
It was to get the Patriot Act passed so they can surveil us, even though that's against the Constitution. We're supposed to be secure in our papers and effects. Well, in this day and age, that's your online presence, that's your cell phone, that's your, computer, that's your GPS. It's yours, not theirs.
And it was the way to invade all the Middle Eastern countries at the behest of Israel. So we went into Iraq and Afghanistan. And so, that was the start of the entire project
Syria,
to take
Yemen,
over in Syria
and Lebanon, and
I'm sorry, I didn't finish.
And the beat goes on.
Right. No, absolutely.
Yep. So, wow. Well, we are moving kind of fast, so we can chat longer on anything. We're only 17 minutes in. I think we only got like 5 stories. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what to say. We have the right to free speech, but it's only as good as the enforcement of our rights.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. And there's no doubt that, it's a battle right now. And it is interesting to hear. It seems like all the commentaries that I hear, Congress is doing nothing. Congress is doing nothing. Congress is doing nothing. And which is true. But it's interesting that people are recognizing that, that branch of our government is really, they are beholden to their stakeholders, donators. And so that's all they listen to. So, if they're told they're going to toe the line, they're going to toe the line. And that's why they're not fighting. And at least the courts are certainly putting up an attempt. I'm not okay that the court has not put anyone in jail for contempt of court. That they need to start doing that. We have to take an action. The court can throw out strong language. Not good enough. Not good enough. We have to start putting people in jail for contempt of court. They're not following the court decisions.
No, they aren't. And speaking of that, I had a little note here, but I guess I messed it up. I watched Sabby this morning, and she was talking about Matt Hogue, that he's the vice chair of the DNC, that said, we're going to invest $20 million to get rid of these, I can't remember his phrase, do nothing Democrats, asleep at the wheel, and get working people in the government. And Bernie Sanders is putting out the same thing. He's like, hey, run for office. Guess what happened? They threatened Matt Hogue's position in the DNC.
Good.
They said, oh, we need to be neutral.
Right.
Yeah, right. Didn't work in 2016, didn't work in 2020, didn't work in 2024. They weren't neutral. They had anointed their person. It was Hillary Clinton or bust. And then it was, we can't let Bernie win again in 2020. And it was Obama talked everyone into dropping out. and left Elizabeth Warren in to hurt Bernie so we could get Biden. And look how they didn't care that he was feeble-minded and bad for America. You know.
And I'm glad that, I'm glad that they do these kinds of things because, I don't know how many times it's going to take for people to realize the Democrats will never get them what they want. Not a thing. I don't know. People cling to it. I guess it's people clinging to systems, right? They're afraid to go to an independent because it's a new thing.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't know how many election cycles it takes, but hopefully they're going to realize the Democrats will be nothing but the bidding of corporate. That's all it's going to ever be.
Yeah.
I mean, and the best examples are when they get into power. What they don't do when they get into power. Obama had a super majority, and look at all the things we're still fighting for that we were fighting for before he got into office. They could have made real progressive change. They have no interest in ever doing any real progressive change.
I'm glad AOC and Bernie are finally feeling the fire, feeling the burn, baby.
Yeah,
this is the burn that they should have been feeling.
Well, I mean, I did like when the people were chanting "Free Palestine" and Bernie's trying to shut that down. Oh no! My Zionist donors are going to freak. Yeah. I mean,
well, even if you don't take money from them, all you got to do is not be completely subservient, and they will take you down.
Yeah.
They don't care who you are. But the continuation of the savvy thing was that the Bernie and AOC rallies look a little bit different than they did before. They're very white, they're very liberal, and they're probably, middle class, upper middle class people. And she had a thing on from the Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the God was interviewing Teslin Figaro. She worked on the Bernie Sanders campaign in 2016, and she left after that debacle.
Yeah.
And I just started looking her up. She is teaching us how to organize politically, and I'm going to check that shit out.
Okay. Cool.
And hey, Brian's here. What's up, Brian? It is an uphill battle. I have twice been called out on Hardlands Media for justing action over words. 6 months ago, someone said protests and actions like signs, etc., are a waste of time.
Yeah, I don't like when people have a negative viewpoint of some person's actions. I mean, the protesters will say electoral politics are a waste of time. The people who do mutual aid say that protesting is a waste of time. Everybody says everything's a waste of time. Do what you want to do. At least do something. That's what counts. That's what counts.
Yeah.
I try to do as much protesting as I can, but we're trying to do it from the electoral politics side of things. And obviously it's an effective tool because of the amount they spend to try to stop us. So obviously it is the possibility of having massive change. They wouldn't bother. And now obviously they realize that protests have an effect too. And so they're trying to shut down the protests. So when they shut down mutual aid, then we're in big trouble.
Well, and that's what it's going to take because groceries are going to go through the roof because of the tariffs. They already are.
The guests we had on Wednesday, it really, Tom King and
Detailer.
It really got me thinking about, right, I feel climate catastrophe is at our doorstep. And that's the first thing that I think of is food. What are we going to do? What the hell are we going to do? And we have to come up with systems for survival. That is just the reality. And so, yes, it is very important that we, grow locally, figure out ways that we are going to be able to survive because the system as it stands can't withhold this. Sorry to totally change the subject,
No,
but
grow
it's
stuff
coming.
in your backyard.
It's coming.
Grow stuff in your backyard or on your porch or in a container. Go to your farmer's market. Go to your local stores. Now is the time to start gathering your food.
Well, and I thought they made a really good point. I hadn't thought about it before, is that, you purchase locally, you are certainly lessening the carbon footprint because you think about all that goes on to get that strawberry from Guatemala over here, right?
Or
the
your
trucks
tomato
and the
from
planes
Mexico.
right. Just the
avocado.
massive amount of carbon footprint that goes into the industrialized, the massive food industry. And then if you're doing it local, that's, you're cutting all of that out. So
if you grow it in your backyard, it's zero because you just walk outside and then you walk back inside. Anyway, we got more comments because I love comments.
Yeah.
Brian. Then a few days ago, a moderator on Bad Cookies said that the Green Party was a waste of time. I explained that the D's and R's are never going to do anything. Only the Socialist Party or Green Party are hope.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Bad Cookies. That's one of the big issues, Brian, that we have is, I Edie and I both watch a lot of YouTube channels, and some of them have come on board with thinking about solutions. The major one is Sabby Sabs and Brianna Joy Gray. Those are the two that are very solutions oriented. Then there's a lot of folks that I would listen to, and I love their opinions, but they're too cool for electoral politics. So they always got to dish it, and it's too bad. It's too bad. but hopefully, again, at some point, people have to get fed up with just complain. I mean, until you're going to have some kind of solution.
Yeah.
If revolution is your solution, okay, obviously do it underground, but otherwise we have no solutions here. We just have complaints and
I like to say, let's use all the tools in the box, and the Green Party is a place that you can come. You can do some work. You can, because we've got a lot going on. We're recruiting candidates for statewide elections and for U.S. House and Senate, and locally, whatever you want to do, whatever suits you. We need to still use that electoral tool, because to leave it out is just kind of, you're just abandoning something that might work.
Right.
And if protest is your thing, I like protest that has an action behind it. Protest is PR. It's trying to change minds. We've changed their minds. I think we did a great job. Yeah. But both parties are traitors. Corrected me. I guess it was a Freudian slip. I was thinking Matt Hogue, but it's David Hogue.
David.
Sorry about that.
It might be, I don't know his pronunciation. You're right, Matt Hogue. No, Matt Hogue is not the one.
But he's not with the DNC, trust me.
Yeah,
he's
David,
Green Party.
And I'm not sure if it's David Hogue or David Hogg. I'm not sure, but you're right.
Yeah. And let's see. Kimmy. Hello, Kimmy. Hey. Americans are hurting so bad they cling to promises and then defend their party when it doesn't deliver.
Yeah, I know. Kimmy, I swear I spend so much time thinking about the mental, concepts around it. Like, how does someone do that? And I see it all the time. I insult people that I shouldn't, and I call them empire simps. But that's how it comes off to me. It's like, wait, why are you supporting the system that's persecuting you, that's causing your entire life, to be, oh my God, am I going to make rent to the next month? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's everybody's entire lives are that. And why do you keep supporting a system that continues that? It's hard for me to understand. I don't.
Yeah. Don't do the mental gymnastics it takes to swallow something that you shouldn't have to put up with.
Yeah.
Jill Biden, just swallow hard.
Yeah.
I was
our next story is Joe Biden. That was a big, big breakout story. I will say that. Yeah.
Thank you all for commenting.
Yeah. And we'll put up more.
Yeah. So let's see. AOC, another careerist fraud, right?
The worst of the worst.
If I missed any, I apologize. And I said, why do you think they spend millions to stop the Green Party and others as well? No one supported me, but I silenced Bad Cookies. Okay, Adam.
Yeah, they do spend millions to try to stop us. There is no doubt. And I mean, every single state gets challenged by the Democrat and Republican parties, depending on what state it is, for ballot access. Every single one. And then they have just so many different operations about infiltration and lying and using their state's attorney. I can't remember what state that was, to give the Green Party an incorrect ballot, knowing it was an incorrect ballot. Nevada. And then once they successfully got their ballot access, Democrats challenged in court and lost. And that ballot was given to them by the Democrat state's attorney.
Yeah, so the petition to get on the ballot, the paperwork that they were handed, they first got the right one, and then somebody said, oh, no, that was the wrong one.
Right.
And then they gave them the wrong one, and then they got like 3 times what they needed.
Right.
And Nevada doesn't have a write-in option. So
I didn't even know
all of Nevada got disenfranchised from voting for Jill, even though they wanted it and did the work.
And the Democrats screamed about, oh, democracy is at stake. I swear, I mean, everything they say is a lie. Everything.
Yeah. So it's at the half-hour mark, and I want to plug again. Please like, subscribe, and share. Help us get to our 500 subscriber goal on YouTube.
Yes.
That helps the message get out. That helps the party. That helps democracy. It helps all that stuff. And we can move on to the next story.
Okay.
Was this one yours?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Yeah, the Biden officials may have talked like peacemakers, but a new Israeli investigation shows that in reality, they didn't lift a finger to end Israel's genocide war on Gaza. So yeah, and actually I have this originally, this was in Israel Palestine News, but they gave credit to the originators, which was Dropsite. And so Dropsite is Jeremy Scahill, if you remember him from he broke a big story in Iraq, forgetting what it was, and Ryan Grimm. So they do Dropsite News, which is on Substack. And so I'm just gonna read this. I'm going to read it from the Dropsite, so it's probably almost the same. And this is a quote from former Israeli ambassador Michael Herzog. God did the state of Israel a favor that Biden was the president during this period. We fought in Gaza for over a year, and the administration never came to us and said, ceasefire now. It never did. And that's not to be taken for granted. So that's the former Israeli ambassador admitting that Biden did nothing. A sweeping Israeli Channel 13 investigation has exposed the Biden administration's complicity in Israel's 19-month war. I hate that they use the term war on Gaza. 9 top Biden officials acknowledged avoiding real pressure on Israel, even as the death toll surpassed 30,000. Israeli leaders openly bragged they dragged out the war, playing for time until Donald Trump's return. So it's of course, that these stories come out later, and we have to, think about immediately, just shift to AOC, saying, oh, they are working tirelessly to end to have a ceasefire tirelessly. So that's the AOC, the lying AOC that they're going to push for president in 2028. One of them, but.
And Kamala Harris.
Yeah. And our own Pritzker. He's definitely in the running.
And Gavin Newsom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
but again,
I hope Gavin can't run for governor. So
right.
we're supporting Butch Ware, of course.
And I think the key to that, list of possible Democratic presidential candidates is that they will do the same thing. They will toe the line for Israel. That's the only way you can get up in the higher ups of the Democratic Party is make sure you have, said, I am fine with our AIPAC donations. I will do what Israel tells us to do. So that's what
you got to bend the knee for.
Right. That's what, But I mean, it's good that this investigation has, broken this story that Biden had absolutely no intentions of stopping this, the bombing of Gaza. Not one.
And this is by Catherine Shahida from Israel Palestine News, referencing the Dropsite News.
Mm-hmm.
It was on Israeli Channel 13, but Sabby started just like, you could just tell how mad she was when because she was reporting on this too. She's like, everybody attacked me when I said they're lying to you. Right. And I'm like, and I even had people say, well, we just get them in there. Maybe we can push them. I'm like, they're lying to you. Right. They have no intention. Didn't they shut down the folks in Michigan whenever they came to Kamala Harris?
Right.
Like, just say you'll do an arms embargo. You don't have to actually do it yet. Just say you're going to do it. Like, just promise us. Like, they couldn't even promise because AIPAC would take them down.
Right.
Yeah. Do you want me to keep going or no?
No, that's fine. Yeah. No, that covers it. It's just, it's really important that and unfortunately, all this news always comes out after the fact. But
of course it does.
But still, it's, people need to know the Democratic Party committed a genocide. Okay, they are the genocide party. Trump is continuing that. So yes, the Republicans are now the new genocide party, but They both do it. There is no difference between those two when it comes to Israel. There's no difference.
Oh, yeah. We got more comments.
Okay.
Let's see if I can back it up. Oh, what's up, Alexandria? You're here.
Hey.
Thank you for being here. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Hope everyone
Hey.
is enjoying the evening. Is it evening?
Where
I don't
you
know.
are.
I've lost track of time. I don't know what day it is, what time it is.
There you go.
Brian, Brian, you're gonna tell me what you were talking about the other day. Why we didn't get as many viewers on Wednesday, but what good is it to sit around and make jokes about our leaders' wrongheadedness or how stupid MSN pundits are? But that is all they want to do.
Yeah, you're right. There is that little, cute battle that goes on MSNBC versus Fox, where they show some little clip of what they said or the headline, right? And right, but it's important to just know that they both know the game they're playing and they agree to play that game. That's the point. That's the point of it, is they want to make a fake battle between the Democratic world and the Republican world so that they can keep doing that. So that, people who vote against their interests every single time on both sides, they're voting against their interests because they're trying to stop their perceived enemy.
Yeah. Brian's telling me what he thinks is going on. You are clearly being suppressed, in my opinion. These numbers of almost 500 should be so much higher, but other leftist sites are more interested in keeping people believing.
That's an interesting topic, right? It really, I'm not going to, I don't know enough about how the algorithms work. I really don't. But I do hear other people in this space complaining about it a lot. And I think they have more proof. Like, I can't remember if it was Due Dissonance or whether it was Revolutionary Blackout Network, but they analyzed their numbers, because you can go in and YouTube and look at the numbers, and they saw they started, I think it was when the beginning of the genocide, and they just saw their numbers crash all of a sudden, and that there isn't any reason why they would crash other than suppression. So it definitely is out there. I can't say if it's being hit us, but thank you for saying that.
So we have to count on the 15 people watching to share it to at least 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
That if all 15 are subscribers and you each get 2, we made our goal.
There you go.
So
right. And and that is kind of the world we live in terms of the social media aspect. It is about sharing and liking and commenting things to help promote them. And that's in every space. That's in Facebook, that's in Instagram, that's in X Twitter. It's all about trying to promote. And that's why that's another reason why I like working in the Green Party, is because there is a massive structure out there of 50 states, about 50 state parties, and the national, and all of the caucuses, all of the different ways that you can promote our ideas. And we are on all kinds of different state parties sharing and promoting, and because that is the strength. It is the strength of the organization that helps propel us. And if we were doing this on our own without the Green Party behind us, we wouldn't have any viewers like we do. I mean, it's definitely the help of the structure of the Green Party that promotes our ideas. So it's super important. And thanks, Brian, for bringing that up. That's a great topic.
Yeah, and we think the Green Party is the place to be because of the structure and the ability to get people on the ballot. And if there's something that you think is needs to be changed or is a little unfair, we have processes for that. The Green Party is ran by the people that join it, and then the people that do the work and the people that are active. So, that's how it works, and that's how it should work, and we are not opposed to compromises on things. But we have 2 comments that I want to get to. So both parties are traitors. All the suffering we're going through, all the homelessness, inequality, wars, genocide is a result of our mythical lesser evil voting for decades. I stopped voting for all the Dems in 2016.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
I made a meme once early on in the genocide, and I was like, when lesser evil is genocide, you got a problem. I mean, that's a real problem.
And they've been telling that story since the 60s. I mean, Hunter S. Thompson was talking about it back in the Nixon days.
Yeah. Yeah.
So look where we are now. Nixon would be considered a crazy radical at this point.
Yeah, he would be a leftist. It's true. He reached out to China. I mean, that made their heads explode. Right. No.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
just breaking into a building to like spy on something, that's like small potatoes at
That's
this point. And
nothing.
he
Oh my
resigned
God.
over it
Yeah.
because he was going to get kicked out. Now it's a free for all, people.
Yeah.
And Kalia says, "Did y'all talk about the flotilla? I know maybe that's what I was thinking. I know Matt Hull was involved with them. I think they got bombed by Israel.
Oh, yeah, right.
I haven't
Oh,
seen the story.
yeah. Well, as we continue, I'll see if I can find that. But yeah, we were going to talk about Houthis in Yemen later on too, about what they've been doing. But it's the same thing. It's the battle going on, over in that territory with Yemen. So yeah, we'll get to that story too.
And if not today, we'll put it on our notes for next time. And Brian, Hardlands and other sites have suggested that the Green Party was corrupt in the past and do not want to win. I do not see it that way. I don't think they
Yeah,
think
I
that.
don't. We've actually had conversations with Hardlands, and so he was really supportive of us. So I don't know how far in the past that was, or whether, and honestly, Hardlands, I would have almost put them in the group with the others. He's at least willing to recognize the Green Party. I mean, other groups have been really dismissive. Due Dissidents has not been too good. At the end, they went with Jill Stein because she was tied to Shama Sawant. So that's
Workers
why
Strike
they were,
Back.
but specifically Shama. They like Shama. So
Yeah.
but no, and we are in talks with Hardlands, so we'll see, about the future of our relationship with Hardlands. No, we like that. We like Kit a lot.
Yeah, so let's keep going with the comments because I like our viewers. On Wednesday we don't get as much chance to do this.
Yeah, right.
At Green Livestream and Illinois Green Party podcast, no third party is perfect. That's true. Greens aren't perfect, but even on their worst day, they're infinitely better than the duopoly.
Yeah,
we got to remember who the enemy is.
That is so true. Thank you for that, both parties. Yeah, no, that is so true. I mean, without a doubt, our ideas are correct, and our methods by which we're going to get there are correct. It's, we're not going to take corporate money. We're not going to be tools of the corporate world and the oligarchs. All we have to do is convince people to vote. They don't understand the power they have. They have incredible power. It's just they have to get out of their minds. Oh, what are the other people voting for? I'll just do what the other people want to do. That's what they have to get rid of. They have to understand. Go for it.
I was going to say that's called being a lemming.
Well,
you're going to jump off the bridge. Let's all jump off.
Yeah. Well, and yet it just, it is. I feel like it's more understanding what voting does. What it allows a person to do is express themselves and actually do it. When they decide they're going to vote on something because of other people, then they've taken that away from themselves. They had the power. They decided not to use it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, let's see. I have a couple more I just want to look at real quick, and then we can move on.
Okay.
Oh, I did that one already. That's not what I want. Is anybody running for Illinois governor? We're still looking.
We're still in the process. It's in process, but yeah.
You got anybody you want to send our way? That would be amazing. We're in talks with people, but nobody has actually filled out the paperwork yet. We have some ideas. But
yeah,
I put in my paperwork for something.
Yes. Well, right. So we can announce that because that is approved. Yes. Yeah. So Edie Arndell is running for lieutenant governor in 2026. So
why not?
Yes. No, absolutely. And so yes, but the entire process, we will probably have 8 candidates at least for 2026. Statewide, 7 statewide candidates, and then a U.S. House run. Oh, and U.S. Senate, more. And U.S. Senate, and Senate. One, at least one U.S. House. Yep.
Yeah, and you still have time.
Yes.
But since we are the party that doesn't take corporate donations and super PAC money and sells out to the powerful, you need to start now. Let's just make the decision. get together, figure out the best way to campaign, study whatever your office is. Lieutenant Governor, I'm studying now. You know, a lot of things can be done, but you also got to point out the things that aren't being done. So
Right.
I'm in the research mode right now. And Scott talked me into doing.
Well, I
I'm
think
like,
because I think you would be good, Edie. I said not me. No, I no. I've got a mouth that's going to get us all in trouble. But no, Edie, you are. I think you are actually. You would make a fantastic candidate. I really do. That's why I was kind of pushing you. So yes.
yeah. So Brian's asking. Hang on. Hardlands was for the Greens several years ago, but lately I think people are too scared to do anything and talk as a substitute.
No, really, Brian. I swear to God, we had a talk. We had a meeting with him not like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So trust me,
Yeah,
we are working on it. We're working on it.
we're just we need to show them. We need to
And
show Illinois.
and Heartlands is Chicago, so it's super important. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we are absolutely we are focused on Heartlands media. Absolutely.
Yeah, so we got sidetracked here. Okay, y'all, we have to go back to our show. The next thing was, see if I can find it. Israel's burning. As soon as I find that, I'll put it up, Scott. There it is.
Yeah, yeah. So I read this in a couple of different sources because it sounded like a meme that somebody just made up. But no, I guess it really is true that what happened. So one of the things that the settlers do is they chop down the olive trees of the Palestinians, and it's a really bitter, sick, cruel thing that they do because they know how much it's gonna hurt. It's their income. A lot of these people are farmers and they grow olive trees. So that's their income. And yet also those trees, they are hundreds of years old. And so it is really painful, but that's part of what they do. And then I've seen this in a couple different places that they've been putting in pine trees because they want it to look like Europe. So I think since the 30s or something, they've been planting pine trees. So sure enough, now in our climate catastrophe realm where, droughts and the different conditions all coming together, Israel is on fire. And, part of it is them trying to be European. I just thought, when I read that, I was like, oh my God, unreal.
And I keep thinking of the Clash song, London's Calling. I'm like, Israel's burning.
Yeah.
Israel's burning. I can't remember the lyrics. Like
Yeah.
things always remind me of like music or television or a movie. Both parties are traitors. An Illinois Green Party podcast to Democrat voters. What will it take for you to leave the Democratic Party? What does the Democrat Party have to do for you to say I'm done? That's an excellent question.
Yeah.
For me, it was genocide. I gave up.
Right. I think that was the tipping point for a lot of people. There's no doubt that was, for a lot of people, it was the Bernie betrayal or some years back that did it. So yeah, those are the two, I would say, big ones. But no, we still have so many people to reach. We have so many people to reach. Yeah. We got a ways to go here, folks.
Yeah. And Kalia, she's proud national and NCGP Black Caucus member.
Yes,
North Carolina
absolutely.
in the house.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So wow. I mean, that's not to mention the olive trees are a symbol of Palestine. Very much so.
Right.
It's cultural and they know that. So they're trying to completely obliterate the Palestinians, both physically and culturally. They're trying to erase them. Yeah. And then I also heard something about that in Germany. My friend was telling me in Germany that they're trying to say they can't use the word Holocaust. Like the Holocaust during World War II is the only one that's ever happened. And we can't, that word is off limits now. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. No, I mean, again, it's the fascist state that's happening everywhere, not just America, without a doubt. Germany is horrific right now.
Okay.
But did you want to talk about the Yemen strike?
Yemen strike,
fight
sure.
back, yeah, and so Yemen, they're the only country in the globe that is doing military actions to try to stop the genocide, to fight Israel's genocide. So Yemen they're very brave. They're a poor country. I mean, again, I think it's a cultural thing that their attachment is so strong that they are willing to do this. And, they're being bombed by the U.S. At Israel's behest. So they're taking a lot of casualties, but they are fighting back. And there's another graphic that I wanted to show.
Okay, sorry, I was looking at the comments.
Yeah, no. If you want to,
our buddy Chaz is back. Which one do you want me to?
Oh, that's okay. Yeah.
Oh,
So
thanks.
Houthis shot down at least 7 multi-million-dollar drones in 6 weeks. So I'm reading a report here that was from Yeni Safak, which is a news site out of Turkey. And it says Houthis in Yemen have shot down at least 7 multi-million-dollar American drones over the past 6 weeks, hindering U.S. military objectives in the region, CNN reported, citing multiple U.S. officials. The downing of these drones, including Mk-9 Reapers, have prevented the U.S. from achieving its goal of air superiority over Yemen within 30 days, officials told CNN. This setback has complicated American efforts to move into phase 2 of its military operation. One more paragraph I'll read. According to the officials, Houthi forces have launched 77 one-way attack drones, 30 cruise missiles, 24 medium-range ballistic missiles, and 23 surface-to-air missiles targeting U.S. forces, the Red Sea, or Israel over the last 6 weeks. So Yemen is fighting back, and
yeah, and I would say that if all the countries that say they're against the genocide would be fighting back, it'd be over.
Yeah.
And this is our government going, the U.S. government is going against the will of of Americans.
Absolutely.
Of citizens. So they've gone freaking rogue.
Yep.
And now it's just really obvious. But I do kind of want to address Chaz's comment.
Sure.
Let's see. And I think we got a lot to say about this. So what's up, Chaz? Thanks for participating. I really do appreciate it. Bernie did it for me. As an American, I do not care too much over the Middle East. Yeah, Israel is wrong, but that ain't happening here. So why would I want a politician that makes that their agenda? So I can tell you lots of reasons why. It's money that's not getting spent here.
Right.
It is taking our soldiers and putting them in harm's way for corporate profit and just to be, domineering. It's an empire, not a country. We're acting like an empire. Empires always fall once they start ignoring the people's needs. They're going against what we want. And it has everything to do. Israel is AIPAC. AIPAC is controlling our politicians. If you just go to Open Secrets and look who's getting donations from AIPAC. So Israel is controlling our politics here. So more war constantly, and nothing for healthcare, nothing for schools, nothing for infrastructure, no real money. I know there was some kind of bullshit bill that got passed, and now they're trashing our Constitution.
And Chaz says, what? Can you put that back up? Actually, why would I want a politician that makes it that their agenda? Right? Why would you want a politician that makes it that their agenda? Every politician has made Israel their agenda. Every single politician. If you want a politician that doesn't make Israel their agenda, then you're going to have to vote Green Party. Mm-hmm. So again, you think that, right, you're opposed to what they're saying, or if they're saying pro-Palestine, or, every single politician is working for Israel right now in our U.S. government. So, and again, like he said, it's where all of our money's going too. I mean, we're talking $50 to $100 billion. All of the things that we could have, we could end homelessness, we could have we could have universal health care, we could have so many things in this country if we didn't spend all our money on bombs. It isn't just an issue of picking a particular politician. It is our U.S. government. Again, I'm going to say that quote I say almost on every show. China has not dropped a bomb in 40 years. Mm-hmm. The U.S. drops a bomb every day for the last 40 years. So
guess
it is
who pays for that.
Right. It is. And guess who dies from that? Mm-hmm. People. For you, it's sad, Chaz, if you're not going to make the deaths of human a priority. I I don't think borders are that important. I care about human lives. I care about animal lives. I care about the earth. But on that also, I wouldn't like to think that you're going to not care about somebody dying over there because they don't happen to live here. To me, that's not a really strong argument.
Yeah.
But
I got a compliment.
well,
Green Party podcast, Edie. I think you would make a great lieutenant governor. Good luck to you, Edie, and I'll vote for you. I got one vote.
right. One vote. Okay. I'm marking that down.
That's one.
One. How many do we have left?
A couple. One or two.
Well, and it's going to be a really interesting run because so many people are now retiring. I know Dick Durbin is leaving. Schakowsky's leaving in the House. So a lot of people are leaving. There's talk of Pritzker going to president. Doesn't mean he won't run necessarily. Supposedly, the lieutenant governor may do Dick Durbin's Senate run. So there may be an opening there. And it's always just a more interesting race when the incumbent is not, when there's no incumbent.
Yeah, when there's upheaval in the party.
Yeah. So it's going to be an interesting time. There's no doubt. Yeah, 2026 is going to be fascinating. And we're going to be working hard, folks. And so the big issue with the Illinois Green Party is ballot access. It's the hardest thing we have to accomplish. That's our step one for 2026. And luckily, we could put 7 candidates on one petition. We're going to be out there.
So far.
Yeah. And
unless they get wise to us.
Well, but that's what exists. That's the law. And so we will be using that. And so that's going to be March of 2026. We're going to be out petitioning for 3 months, is it? And so we've got to reach a 25,000 goal. Actually, to do that, we got to do 50,000 just because we will definitely get challenged by the Democratic Party in court. They will look at every signature and try to challenge them. So we've got tons of work to do, but that is our focus. Absolutely. Because
and we are looking for volunteers. We've only got 20 so far, but we got 20.
Okay.
And we're going to be having like petitioning training to make sure you know what you're doing when you're going out there, like, and how to handle people and how to do it the right way so it counts. And phone banking, if you don't want to get out of your house and face people in person, we're launching some phone banking training fairly soon as we get some stuff lined out within the state party. And get back to the business of fighting the duopoly. I can't wait.
And also, we actually do a kind of hangout Zoom Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Central Time. So if folks are just kind of interested in checking us out and talking to us, I know this comment thing it's fun. It's really fun. But if you want to have a just complete interactive time with us and just talk about the Illinois Green Party, we do that every Thursday. And the link is on the website, ilgp.org/events. And it's just called the Thursday Hangout or Meet the Greens. You'll see that on Facebook. So it's, so I would suggest that because, there's so many different ways you can get involved. And, we need help with graphics, with social media, with so many things, with press releases we're going to have for the candidates. There's going to be a million things to do here coming up.
Standing on a street corner with a sign, waving at the cars. Like there's so much you can do. Like whatever is your jam,
Yeah.
You can come do it at the Illinois Green Party. So, Amanda says hi. Finally made it to the chat. Great show. Hi, Amanda.
Hey, thank you so much.
And Kimmy, if you care about the Earth, dropping bombs every day is terrible. We have to care.
See, thank you. Give me another reason. Right. No, I think the U.S. military is the #1 carbon producer in the world. Yeah. So we are contributing to climate catastrophe with our U.S. military, which is way out of line. We do not need military bases all around the world policing the world. We don't need that. Again, it's the China comparison. We don't have to be doing that stuff, people. And the signs are that this government is getting ready to both bomb Iran. We'll see about that one, but that one they're trying. There are neocons in our government that are trying to push for that. And there is very serious talk and planning. You hear about reports about the different ways that they are planning to go to war with China. I mean, our government, we have got to stop this government, people. We've got to stop it.
it's going to come back to us because we're acting a little too big for our britches right now. And if we piss off the entire world, eventually they're going to have enough.
Right.
And we are not the largest population. We might have the biggest military, but we're stripping all the money out of the country. Eventually, it's going to crash.
Right.
But I wanted to put up another one. Oh, both parties are traitors. For me, it was the rigged primary in 2016 is when I left the Democratic Party.
Yeah. Well, wow.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you.
I should have caught on, but I'm
that
sorry.
you're right. That was the big one. That was the big one when they cheated
Yeah.
Bernie, and then when Bernie didn't go independent. Those were the two big ones that should have shown everybody that there's no future in the Democratic Party. None.
No future. Sex Pistols.
You come up with this. Wow.
I know. I'm feeling like British rock.
Oh, there you go.
Kind of
Love
punk.
it.
I love punk rock.
Yeah. Oh my God. I was punk rock. I actually was punk rock. I was like a leader in the queer punk movement in the 90s.
Oh, wish I would have known you then, man.
Yeah. It was a
I'm
fun
so
time.
happy
It
to
was
know
a
you now.
totally fun time. Queer punk. It was the best.
And I got to meet this guy in person last Friday.
Right.
Because
right.
we
For the
did
first time.
we did a fundraiser at our co-chair's house for our green experiences. So we went around the room and we had one person online, Richard, that was here, Joe Vanoni. I'm hoping I'm getting it right. Just to say how they came to the Green Party, like talking about how you got here, and we raised at least $500. I think it was way more,
That's
but
fantastic.
yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
And
we'll be doing.
Question.
Okay. Yeah. We'll be doing, as you put it up, we'll be doing fundraisers often. Again, we need some folks to bring in some money so that we can do, things like brochures and posters and advertising and everything to get the word out. So
much work to do.
So again, ilgp.org/events. Just go to the events page and you'll see what's the latest happening with the Illinois Green Party.
So Amanda's got a question. How can we all organize all the regions of the country and world around GP politics, ASAP, and quantum leaps?
Yeah. Well, the fascinating thing is just how much is happening. I think 2026 is a really good time because it's a non-presidential election year. So that gives a lot of space for people. And the Green Party's doing a lot. Again, the GCCC, am I saying that right?
Mm-hmm.
They are organizing all the campaigns and going to be promoting them. And that's for the whole country. Now, the two big ones that I know of are Butch Ware running for governor in California. That is a massive push. That if we can get that one, that will do a huge, huge amount of publicity for the Green Party. Andy Ellis is running for governor in Maryland. That's also going to be a really good race. And again, each state is going to have candidates for 2026. The levels of success depend on each state has their own ballot access laws. So, but without a doubt, and again, like I had said, the best way to do that just from your house is to get on and like and share and comment to all of the different Green Parties around the country. They for like Facebook, you don't have to be a member of the particular Green Party to join their Facebook group. You can just help promote them. So that can be done. That's just a thing you do at the house. So you could be helping promote the Green Party.
And you can donate to Butch Ware's campaign.
Yeah.
And you don't have to live in California because that's what the rules are there. You don't have to live in California, but that would be a huge win for the country because he ain't having it. He's like, Democrats had their chance to get health care and they purposely sabotaged it twice. They put it up under Schwarzenegger which was a Republican governor, because they knew he'd veto it. And then when there was a Democratic governor, funny, they just fell a couple votes short.
Yeah, they didn't pass single payer. Right.
So they don't want it, y'all.
Yeah.
Because their owners, not their donors, their owners don't want them to have it. But we need to get to our last story because we're over time already.
All right.
I think we just like being here with y'all. So
20
people are watching. Share it with at least 2 people and get them to subscribe so we can make our 500. Yes. Maybe by the end of the day. So it just takes people sharing, just say subscribe. So, okay. So 100 days of Trump. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I didn't realize we were doing this one. Okay.
Yeah. So 100 days of the Trump administration onslaught against workers. This is from ScheerPost by Sarah Anderson at inequality.org. This week marks the end of the first 100 days of the second Trump administration. He campaigned as a champion of working class voters. But straight out of the box, his policies have undermined labor at nearly every turn, gutting worker rights. President Donald Trump has acted aggressively to reverse recent progress, things that were already there. It's not like you're not doing anything more. You're taking down the things that have already been implemented. By illegally removing National Labor Relations Board Chair Gwen Wilcox for allegedly favoring workers' interests over employers. Isn't that what I don't know. I mean, the workers are getting screwed. The employers got plenty of people to prop them up. This robbed the NLRB of the quorum necessary to act and also gutted the agency's independence. The D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled to reinstate Wilcox, but on April 9th, our Supreme Court blocked this action while litigation is pending.
Wow. Yeah, and it's true. A lot of MAGA folks are union members, and so man, absolutely. And so they kind of, when it comes to their everyday lives, they actually support progressive policies. They just don't understand it in terms of how the government fights that. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see. There's so many things that Trump is doing that I'm sure that MAGA folks actually do not like. They might not admit it because they don't want to go against their leader. But there are things that Trump is doing that is hurting them. I mean, horribly hurting them. So,
Yeah, through a series of executive orders, Trump has also removed long-standing job protections for federal career employees, making it easier to fire these workers for any reason, and taking away the rights of federal workers to collectively bargain. And do you think it's going to stop there, y'all?
Right.
I mean, deporting people didn't stop with people that were from other places. It's already coming to Americans that I know I'm laughing, but it's just so ridiculous that people don't see it. And I mean, I guess we can stop there, but you have to check out this article. I believe I put it in most of the stuff is in the show notes. And if I missed something, I think just watch the replay. Our producer did some QRs on it. So should be in there.
Okay.
Let me find it so I can take it down. Oh my gosh. I miss you so much, Ariel and
Leo.
And Leo. I'm still looking for it. There it goes.
But no, I mean, I think we covered a lot of, again, I mean, it's just, we do this week in review and there's so many things happening all simultaneously with that we can't get to them all, not even close. And so, we try to provide what I think are the really important topics that are going on. I believe that Yemen is one of the big topics that's happening. And so, I mean, again, I think, we've done global strikes and protests around Palestine and Gaza worldwide for the 15 months it's been happening. And so I think it's really, really important to promote Yemen, what they are doing, because they are the only ones standing up. And so that's why I try to make it a focus of what we're doing at Green Livestream in the current
and the Illinois
situation.
Green Party.
Yes.
We have the general strike for Palestine that we would like people to stay home if they can, stay home from work and school if you can, because I know you need big, support to be able to do that for an extended period of time, but you cannot buy things and you can share our graphics online. And so that's May 7th. That's coming up in, 4 or 5 days. So
right. And
do that. And another thing that I wanted to mention one of the things that I wrote that I guess I didn't save it right. Today is Hind Rajab's birthday. She would have been 7 years old. Oh God. So do it for her.
Yeah.
Do it for her. I don't know if you know that story, but man, she, a little girl, 6 years old, trapped in a car.
Oh yes.
IDF just butchered her family and she survived, but she couldn't get any help. And then when they finally let an ambulance through, they bombed the ambulance. Oh, yeah. So she died.
Yeah. And So yeah, Brian, as you posted before, we just care about people, and we don't want to hear these horrific stories as we do. That was the thing about the genocide. You go to Twitter and you go to your phone, you see the just horrific images. I have to scroll past. I can't deal with it. But that's what we're trying to stop. And so it's really, really important to us. So yes, it's important as Americans that we fight this. Absolutely important. And so, yes, this is a general strike. This graphic's a little old. We're going to be into May 7th. But yeah, we are asking this to do this on the 7th of every month. And it got a lot of publicity last month. We'll see how we do. And that's really the point, is we just want to get the idea of general strike out there. There's been some opposition because they think it's related to unions, and it's not. That's the term general. That's why it's not a union action. It's a general strike, meaning a strike for all people.
Yeah, every single person can strike in some way. You can not buy things. You can check out what to boycott. You can start looking through your kitchen going, oh, I don't know. Who does this? And then there's a lot of apps that will show you what you shouldn't be buying.
Right.
Trying to think. Oh, no thanks is one.
Ours specifically was no purchases on the day. So that's what we were trying to focus on, is just to have the impact. And again, this will not be successful until it is really, really large. But that's why we're doing it every month. And so, as we know, this genocide will continue, and the destruction of the Palestinian people is their goal. And so we will continue to fight this as best we can. So
yeah, thanks for that. I think you got a typo. It says March, but you meant May.
No, I said it was an old graphic. No, it was. I said it was an old graphic, right?
Yeah, but we'll be working on that. We had a lot of internal party stuff happening lately, so we haven't been able to do our normal stuff. So I guess we can. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I think we covered it for the week. And I just want to thank everyone for coming in and being a part of this. And we don't get to all the comments. I'm sorry, but we do try to, keep it as interactive. And we're without a producer today, so that makes it a little extra stressful. But thanks everyone. We really appreciate that you come in and hang out with us. And these are rough, difficult topics. It's a hard time. I cannot believe that the kind of stories we're sharing. The FBI raids homes for people because they protest. American citizens, FBI raids because they're protesting. That's
millions of people.
All of us have been to protests, and they do facial recognition. So we are all in trouble here, folks. It's a dangerous time. It is. And especially if your protests are around Gaza and Palestine, they are out to stop us. Yeah. The Zionist control of our government is complete. They are out to stop us.
And if you want that to change, join the Green Party. It only takes 3 people to make a chapter. Just find the Green Party nearest you and join it. If you see something that needs to be done, just do it. They'll be super happy for any help that you can give. Chaz, but FBI raiding January 6th protesters were not by me. January 6th is it's the rule of law. It's due process. That is what's important. It doesn't matter whose side you think you're on. You gotta do the due process. You have to follow your laws, your bylaws, and to the best of your ability, promote what the will of the people wants. And if the will of the people goes against the laws, get those people to help change the law into something that the people want. It's very simple.
And the thing is, I do try to be principled and not be one side or the other. When the report came out that the attempted kidnapping of Governor Whitmore out of Michigan was an FBI infiltrated task, I was against that. I'm not trying to pick one side, right? It isn't about that. It is the government control of people and monitoring people and trying to fight their First Amendment rights that we care about. The old story of the ACLU that protected the Nazis. No, it's an old story, but it's completely, they protected the right for Nazis to march in Skokie, right? Illinois. That was a famous case. Yeah. And now they won't do that anymore.
It wasn't you. It was what Brian said. He's cracking me up. I hope
Okay.
Edie is not a meme. Otherwise, she would be Edie a meme.
Yes.
You're making me have flashbacks to
Oh
high
my
school where they used to pick on me.
God.
Don't do that.
Brilliant. Okay. You're brilliant.
Just call me.
You
Just
get
call me
gold
Edie
star
Marie.
of the live stream. Oh, I'm
Last
gonna watch out. I'm gonna make one. Ooh,
oh no.
that was good.
He's probably gonna be my graphic
Woo.
guy.
Yeah, there we go.
I just want to close with one last call for. I say left unity, but what I really mean is unity across our divides. And if the American people want these things to stop, if we want to kick Israel to the curb in our country, like remove the power of their money and the control of our government, we have to put some of our differences aside, whatever those might be, and work on the things that we agree on. So what I wrote was left unity and finding ways to work together towards the greater good, letting go of ego to serve others. Remember who we're fighting and who the enemy actually is. The threat is real, people.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
And free Palestine.
Yes, free Palestine.
Yeah, because it's not going to happen on its own. So
thanks everyone again.
Thanks everyone, and thanks to Amanda. It's okay to be attached to Butch. he's pretty great.
Which we had him on a week and a half ago. Oh, it was fun. You got
a couple of Wednesdays ago.
Go check out the interview we had with Butch. It was fantastic. He's a dynamo. He is great. Yeah, we love Butch.
So tune in Wednesday. Right now, I haven't looked to see who our guest is, but we'll have it out soon.
Oh gosh,
I'm so sorry. I should know, but it's been a crazy week. So I drove up. I got to like I said, I went to Chicago for the spring convention. I did the the fundraiser and got to meet all my green peeps in person. That was really cool.
Yeah,
it was so wonderful.
Yeah.
So tune in Wednesday night at 7, and we will be having the preview probably going up in a few hours. So sure. I'll do that now. All right.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye now. Bye, everyone.
An uprising, we're rising up. It's an uprising, we're rising up. It's an uprising. Fight the power. It's an uprising. Fight the power.